Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel. As you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, and things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day. How goes the family? How goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys are having a great and exceptional evening. Trying to stay consistent with these lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I know I need to start doing more lives on the weekends, but it seems like it's easier for me to get my my content done in regards to the one that's scripted on the weekends and whatnot. I have more time, and with this, I love doing this. I can just talk, freestyle it, do what I do, and have a good day as I do it. But anyways, folks, so going to be talking about the what's always been the real gangsters, but most people know the new gangsters are the ones that are all about the ownership class, the ownership party. And when I say ownership, I'm talking about owning companies, whether it's via their own company or owning pieces of other companies via stocks. People who own bonds, people who own cryptocurrencies, people who own insurance policies, life insurance policies from various aspects, the whole life, the term, to whatever. People, because with insurance, certain, especially whole life insurance policies, you can become your at-home bank and whatnot. To a lot of people have utilized those kind of systems where they don't even need a 401k or an individual retirement account. But yeah, the owner classes, the people who own real estate, residential and commercial land. The owner class is real. And when I say that, I'm not just saying that to be just facetious, but no, the owner class is real, because the owner class really makes the decisions, in the United States of America. And every country has their own version of how they do things, but in the U.S., it's a capitalist country, and the real decisions are made not via a gun but via a pen. That's one of my favorite sayings. I remember hearing that on EY University. Dame Dash, he's like the biggest. He's like, I remember Damon Dash said, he was like, he guys straight up from the street, straight from the block. They probably shot some people, been shot at, done some drug deals, robbed people, whatever. But you put them in the boardroom and they look like the scariest kid in a haunted movie. A horror movie, like a 5-year-old kid who's running away from a ghost or a monster that just killed their kids, killed their parents, killed their sister or brother or whatever, killed their cat, killed their dog. And I remember when he said that, I was just like, that not only is that real and very, very accurate, but I mean, I remember, so growing up as a kid, you play sports, you practice, you get good. You're the toughest person on the court. You go to the gym, you lift weights. You're the toughest person in the gym. I mean, and usually when people, I mean, let me know in the chat. Usually people, when you get into your workout, especially the fellas, you lifting your weights, you're in the zone. You look like you might want to kill somebody, but you're really in the zone. Like, I've had people at my gym say I look like I want to hurt somebody when I'm really not. I got my music headphones on. I got my music. That's the main time I don't want to talk to anybody. That's why, to be honest with you, and I'm saying this because I don't care. Couples at the gym, you guys get on my nerves. 5 to 6 dudes hanging out with each other at the gym, y'all get on my nerves, straight up and down. Moments like that, even seeing that today, reminds me why I used to love going to the gym, getting to the gym at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is like before the pandemic. But the gym I go to was 24 hours a day, and now it's not. Ever since the pandemic happened, they actually closed at a specific time. But they used to be 24 hours at least 5 days a week. On the weekends, they weren't 24 hours. But they used to be 24 hours, and that was the coolest thing, because I remember I would get up. I'd have to be at my job by 6 o'clock. So what I would do in my crazy self, I would get to the gym at 3 in the morning, work out, get out of there by 4:30, 4:20, come home, take a shower, and then race to work and whatnot. So that's, I remember. And but the upside was there wasn't even 10 people in the gym. That was the one upside. Number two, um, by the time I was, by the time I was done with my day, because I would get off of work by 2 o'clock, 2:30, I'd get home and I was done. I didn't have to worry about doing it. And I didn't start at that time. Um, I just started doing podcasting and whatnot. I just started my YouTube channel, because I started with my YouTube channel. I didn't even have a Facebook page. I just started with a YouTube channel. Just, it was my YouTube. Like most people, you start off with a podcast on the network, your cell phone. You start talking, you see what happens, right? But anyways, I digress. But the point is, because I know I'm going off on a tangent right now, but the point is, when I talk about those groups of people, I'm not mad at them. They get on my nerves, but I get it. The couples, they're there to support each other in the gym. A lot of couples like to do couple stuff. Nothing wrong with that. So they're in the gym, they're supporting each other. You got what is it? You got the guys that are there. Most of the time, it's teenagers. Sometimes it might be some other young people in their early 20s and whatnot. They're there to support each other. Anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. So that's a good motivational thing. Me, I like doing that when it comes to business, when it comes to working on projects, but when it comes to the gym, that's the one thing I like to do solely by myself. But I'm not mad, because a lot of times, like last month, I lost a little bit of motivation to go to the gym, so I was working at home. But I get that, because we all need that We all need that support system to say, hey, get your butt up. Let's get it going. We need to get it going. I think I'd probably be more productive in this life if I had one, less distractions, and two, more people around me. Because I'm very particular who I associate with. That is like, hey man, let's get this money. Let's get these rental properties. Let's do these podcasts. Let's sell these products online with the Shopify store. Let's get it going, man. It's like I have that internal fire within me, but to have that actual support system is a beautiful thing. But I say the real gangsters are the people that are the owners, is because look at all your major cities across the United States of America, and we're not going to go. I always have to say this because this is the world we live in. We're not talking red state versus blue state. We're not talking Democrat versus Republican. We are talking check-ins and savings. I always got to put that disclaimer out there because I don't do that. I do check-ins and savings. So some of the most expensive cities in the United States of America are not just Los Angeles and New York anymore. No, some of the most expensive cities are Indianapolis, Indiana, Twin Cities in Minnesota, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida, Orlando, Florida. Matter of fact, they're saying that Florida is going to be the first gentrified state in the South, like California is the first gentrified state, period. But Georgia, not Georgia, Florida is catching up behind them without the taxes, insane taxes or whatnot. But as far as cost of living goes, my Floridians, you know what I'm talking about. Florida's becoming more and more of a expensive state, and that's why a lot of more people are going to be leaving Florida, and they might want to stay on the Gulf Coast, so they're going to be going to Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi, those other Gulf Coast states, and Texas and whatnot. But but even when you look at cities like Dallas, Austin, and Houston, and Texas, all the gentrification that's been happening there for the last decade and continuously is happening to this day with population increases and more corporations buying up stuff. You even see during the real estate crisis, you had more and more people, more and more corporations buying up actual whole developments and whatnot, and just not even selling them, but renting them out or just doing the whole buy and hold strategy. You saw that with Zillow, and things of that nature. But that's the real gangster, because the gangsters, like you see if you see those old movies from Boys in the Hood, The Wire, the show The Wire, um, the gangster, they were on the corners and they act like they actually controlled the block. But when in actuality, the way that gentrification actually worked is like, hey, these people are actually renters. Most 9 times out of 10, they don't own anything. So therefore, it's easy for them to get them off the block and whatnot by, hey, we buy the property, we get the police and sheriff's department to get them out, and adios amigos. There you go. Now, it doesn't automatically work in that order, but eventually it does. I mean, you see that happening in cities like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, whether you want to believe it or not, Baltimore, because as bad as Baltimore has had its issues, Washington, D.C. used to be just as bad as Baltimore, except because it's the nation's capital. Washington, D.C. always had a better job market than Baltimore, but Baltimore is right behind. So if you're a person that's looking to get into the real estate market or purchase a home, and hey, and if you like the East Coast, then Baltimore might be the city for you, because you'll be able to get, right now might be the time to act, but look into it, do your own research. And I say this because in the next 10 years, Baltimore will be just as expensive as Philadelphia. In the next 7 years, Philadelphia will be just as expensive as Washington, D.C. And this is just because of people call it the oligarch corporate ownership class, but that's just what it is on steroids. And but a lot of people don't want to have that conversation. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation because that means you have to do more analyzing of the data, do you more research. Sometimes you even got to put your feet on the ground to confer with other colleagues, whether it's in real estate or business on any level, and get some perspective, so you don't just go into the situation thinking that I know every freaking thing. That's not how the real world works and whatnot. Let me make sure I share my screen. But so all right, so now that I've gone into my rant, now I'm going to go into the segment of actually reading the definition of what an actual gangster is, and then see how it actually coexists with other quote unquote cultures, teams, societies, etc., and so forth. All right. So let's get started. And if you're watching, do the great 3 free things, family. Like, share, and subscribe. That's what I always ask. Always greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the Cash Apps and the PayPals. Larry's Anything Goes LLC on both. So greatly appreciate that. But anyways, so let's start with number one of what a gangster is. Like I said, let's start with that. Um, a gangster is a criminal who is a member of a gang. Most gangs are considered to be part of organized crime. Gangsters are also called mobsters, a term derived from the mob and the suffix "stir." Now, and you remember back in the day, you had your hardcore gangsters from Al Capone to John Dillinger, Bugsy Siegel, Meyer Lansky. You had all those, back, where they literally ran cities and whatnot. Quote unquote organized crime. You know what I mean? Very crazy and vicious people. But that's what I said. They say most of the mobs now, especially the Italian mob, they've basically gotten clean. They say that heck they run half of not all of Las Vegas and whatnot, and that's why you still see so many cab companies in business to this day. But they've gone legal. Which say I'm not a fan of people committing crimes and plaguing communities and whatnot, but they've gone legal. I mean, heck, if you think about it, Jay-Z was a gangster, quote unquote, and he went legal. Dame Dash was a gangster and he went legal. Snoop Dogg was a gangster, he went legal. You know, excuse me. Suge Knight wasn't really a gangster. He was just a big dude. I say he became a gangster, and because he immersed himself in gang culture, especially specifically blood culture in Compton, as they call out there, Bompton. But he was idiotic in it, because I always say, like, if Suge Knight would have kept that other stuff out of the mix and grew up and not try to be a gangster in hardcore and whatnot, I think Suge Knight not only would he not be in jail to this day, but I think he would be a big time business mogul even outside of music. But it takes a gangster, in my personal opinion, from a corporate standpoint, to know that you can't do the same thing for the rest of your life. You got to be able to move on. Not everything is not everything is as black and white in this life as we want it to be. And a lot of times people don't realize that. Sorry about that, families. Dropped the cap and it's driving me nuts. All right, now next word: culture. Culture is an umbrella term which encompasses the social behavior, institutions, and norms found in human societies, as well as knowledge, beliefs, arts, laws, customs, capabilities, and habits of individuals in these groups. Culture is often originated from and attributed to a specific region or location. As you see, when people immigrate to a specific country, let's say the United States, Canada, I mean, heck, even people that immigrate to Dubai, a lot of they stay with their own because that's what they know and whatnot. And a lot of times when people immigrate to these other to Western nations, quote unquote, or just other countries, a lot of times their friends and families might be in those specific nations, and they might help set them up with housing, a job, a business, possibly, good education. There's a plan in place. Not that didn't just come to the new world, their new world, to be basic and whatnot. But culture is important. You have corporate culture, you have military culture, you have law enforcement culture. Unfortunately, you have gang culture. But culture is important in regards to you being able to get things done, and to be able to move forward. I mean, even you see in sports, culture with the NFL, NBA, WNBA. There's a culture there, and a lot of times they look out for each other to ensure that. I mean, I've met former WNBA basketball players. She's actually a mortgage broker now. I remember another NBA basketball player from Philadelphia, and he has his own property inspection company in Philadelphia, and he got into that because a buddy of his owned his own company when they got out of the NBA, and they was able to get their via their culture, they were able to start up a business and and flourish from there, and buy rental properties and flourish from there, commercial properties flourish from there. Same thing. Well, I'm from the DMV area, so a lot of people that were in the military, they're able to easily get a job in Maryland, DC, Virginia. It's very easy for somebody who was prior service, especially, to get a job on a military base or just with any other federal government or a federal government contracting company and whatnot. Um, and a lot of times that happens because of the buddy systems. Like, hey, I was in the Marine Corps, the Army with this person, so hey, you got a job, I'm gonna refer you to my manager. Or hey, I'm a program manager. Give me your resume. Let's see what we can make happen. Culture, culture is important. Because a lot of times people, unfortunately, people buying this preconceived notion that in America it's all about just do it yourself. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of things you can do for yourself, but when it comes to being successful, there's always going to be somebody to give you a hand up, and not a handout. Give you a shot too, not even just a hand up, but give you a shot for you to prove yourself, whether it's with a job, whether it's with a business, whether it's in school, all these things. And these things matter. Like nepotism, I'm all about it because everybody else is all about it. I can't tell you how many times I've helped friends get jobs and whatnot. I've supported friends' businesses and whatnot because they're my friend. Okay. And people have done that for me all at the same time. I'm all for nepotism. Every culture in the United States of America utilizes it, whether it's, your local Americans, people who immigrate here. Nepotism is a very big thing. It happens all the freaking time. All right, especially with a lot of small family businesses and whatnot. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be somebody from that culture, or somebody that's a friend of the family, or somebody that's actually in the family that's going to be working at that specific business. Happens all the time. All right, go to your local gas station, you dry cleaners, restaurants. These things happens all the time. Nepotism is a big thing. All right, culture is a big thing. That's why I say I call the make money moves that bro like a full culture that knows no religion, that knows no color, because the United States of America, it's a capitalist country. So if you're about making money moves, you're good in my book. I can't put it any other way. If you, it's like, and because one of the best thing I wish I could play it, but check it out because it's not fair use. But definitely check it out on EY University. Their last Market Monday, I got to put this out there. It was awesome. I got to see Ian Dunlap and 19 Keys, two brothers having a great intellectual discussion about the importance of the stock market, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, where the country's going from an economic standpoint. And they were literally arguing like pundits off of CNN and Fox News, but yet and still they were not only respectful of themselves, because that's what adults are supposed to do, but they were arguing about money. They weren't arguing about who was sitting in the White House, mayor's house, governor's house. They weren't arguing about what the Congress isn't doing, all this other crap that's minute. They were talking about the direction of the country from an economic standpoint. They were talking about the money moves that are going to be made, regardless of who's sitting in public office. And they were talking about how there's such a crisis from an economic standpoint. And for the people that don't realize that, they're going to be screwed at the end of the day. That excited me so much because I love to see that. That's what the media is not going to show, people having intellectual discussions on that level, because it's always got to be left versus right, or as I like to call the BS slash nonsense agenda. I love it because that was the most gangster thing I saw today when I was watching these jokers. Because they was, Ian Dunlap, 19 Keys. They were having grown men debate slash conversation without disrespecting each other. And even when they got loud, it was cool. But they both had grown man discussions without having to cuss each other out and be belligerent and act like a fool. Loved it. That's what I had to tell somebody this in the beginning in January of this year. I'm not arguing about nothing unless it's some money involved. Period. Doesn't make sense. I don't care. I mean, it's unfortunate what happens as far as these bad incidents, but I don't care what Congress and the president's talking about and the government's talking about. What are we talking about? How we increasing our money and our savings and our assets and whatnot? How are we increasing our knowledge in those specific areas? That's what matters to Larry in 2022. Real talk. All right. Definition of a corporation is an organization, usually a group of people or a company authorized by the state to act as a single entity and recognized as such in law for certain purposes. Early incorporated entities were established by charter. Most jurisdictions now allow the creation of new corporations through obviously registrations and whatnot through the state. And obviously you get the EIN number with the IRS, federal government. Um, and that's all at the end of the day. And when I read these definitions, I'm really just trying to hit the nail on organization, working together, entities. All right, and have a purpose. I don't care what state you set up LLC and whatnot, or any business structure and whatnot. There has to be articles of you know confederation, in the sense it has to be, hey, this it happened on this day. Here's what is the purpose of the business, and then what is the way forward in the business. All right, that means a lot. That is important. Last but definitely not least, because I'm not going to be on here all night, business owner. Definition of a business owner is one person who is in control of operational monetary aspects of a business. Any entity that produces and sells goods and services for profit, such as e-commerce store or freelance writer, is considered a business. Businesses can be run alone or with a group of people. And a lot of businesses are run alone, but a lot of businesses are run with a group of people. And majority of the time, the businesses that are run with a group of people are the most successful businesses out there. And so I end this off with this, especially to the young people out there. The most gangster thing you can do is learn how to start a successful business. The most gangster thing you can do is learn how to buy some real estate and make money off of it. The most gangster thing you can do is invest money in specific areas of stocks, cryptocurrency, individual retirement accounts, 401ks, whole life insurance policies. And then the most gangster thing you can do is increase your knowledge every single day. Now, a lot of times I heard people say, well, what about you raising your kids and being a significant other and whatnot? You get married, you're supposed to do your best to be the greatest significant other ever. That goes without saying. You have kids, you're supposed to take care of them. I always bring up Chris Rock. You're supposed to take care of them, motherfucker. That's just how it goes. You don't get credit for that. You're supposed to be a good parent if you're a parent. It is what it is. Is it for everybody? No. But you're supposed to strive to be the best parents that you can be to your child and raise the best person that you can be. That's just what it is. People have been doing that. I always say you don't get credit for that because people have been doing this before there was electricity, before there was running water, before there was actually freaking shelter when people were living in huts and caves and whatnot, or just living outside and they're sleeping on the ground in the village. So parenting, having babies, been around since the beginning of time. So that's why I said that doesn't need to be that much. To me, it doesn't need that much of an in-depth conversation. Doesn't make it easy, no, but it's a circle of life, and people do it every single day. All right, but that's the biggest way to be a gangster and whatnot is be an owner in something and always increase your wealth. Because because one thing that is so true, education is something you never stop pursuing. You think people that own these major corporations and small businesses, who run these hedge funds, who are sitting on Wall Street, who sit in Silicon Valley, who's sitting in these state houses and Congress and whatnot, you think they don't constantly educate themselves every single day? They don't just do it so it can make them look intelligent and look smart, but no, they know the game in America is like you got to always increase your knowledge and wealth because that is your health is your wealth and your knowledge is your wealth, and then because then when you have knowledge and health, then you can be able to implement other things as well. And a lot of times people don't want to have that conversation. That's like I said, that is the most gangster thing that you can do. That is the real gangster because, like I said, you go to these major cities, even nowadays, even all the surrounding suburban communities, and you say that's expensive. Well, guess who can live in these places and say it's not expensive? They can. Guess who, when these food prices and gas prices go up, guess who's not? Guess who it's not affecting? The economic gangsters that's profiting off of it. Okay, that's just something to think. That's just because it's not illegal. It's the American way. As I said, it's not illegal. But that's who's benefiting off of these things. A lot of times, nobody wants to have that conversation. But that's who's benefiting off of it. You know. And then even in certain instances, it's like, hey, gas prices. Well, hey, I always ask people, okay, one, do you have a gas card? Something to think about. Do you have a cashback rewards credit card? Something to think about. Do when you spend your money, you get a little something back? Do you get gas points at your grocery store and whatnot? Something to think about. Because the gas prices nonsense. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's going to continuously affect your pockets if it is affecting you. It's not affecting mine because I worry about trying to increase my income every day, and I get points from spending my money. It's like that's one of the biggest money moves you can have is not only just making a lot of money and whatnot, but ensuring that every time your money gets spent, it's working for you like a slow soldier and whatnot. All right, not to be funny, but you're making the money. You're Kuta Kente, and like, hey, get out in them fields and get the picking. I need the harvest to come in. That's the ultimate money move one can make. But what do I know, right? All right, I'm out of here, family. Do the great three free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, you guys have a great day. Don't forget to check out the online store. Thank you for people who have made the purchases. Heard my cash app go off a couple times, and my PayPal, so I greatly appreciate that for the donations. Always put it back into the channel. Greatly appreciate that. Obviously, if you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to sign up with WEBULL, Stash, Coinbase, Crypto.com, all that good stuff. And you'll be able to make up to $800 worth of free stocks when you sign up with WEBULL. $5, $20, $30 here and there with all the other platforms. So hey, that's big money moves together. Also with Acorns, you'll be able to not only buy stocks, have an individual retirement account, but if you connect it to your debit card, every time you spend $5.50, it'll link it up to $6, and then that extra money or more, that extra money will get invested into the stock market every time you swipe. Ultimate money move in my personal opinion. All right. But on that note, family, I'm out. Take care. Keep doing what you're doing.
Mike, now.